Des is back with a brand new series of Breaking the News. Now on BBC Scotland, a panel of comedians working to make us laugh. What's not to love?
Clark, and this is Breaking the News, the show that breaks the week's news and asks four opinionated panellists to put it back together again. Joining me are four fantastic comics. On my right, we have Mark Jennings and Felicity Ward, and facing them are Kate Hammer and Chris Forbes. While we've been away, US late-night talk show host Jimmy Kimmel was pulled off the air after pressure from the Trump administration before returning a week later. Meanwhile, we, here at Breaking the News, vow that we will continue to hold our government to account without any fear of retribution. And of course, that is the government led by a very handsome, strong and charismatic First Minister. Hey, big man. My pal and yours, that is John Big Dog Swinney. I'm here for you, big man. A British Airways flight attendant was sacked after coming out of the toilet naked and high on drugs. One passenger said they were shocked, but it was still the most entertaining safety demonstration they'd ever seen. Right, you've met the teams. Let's do it. Let's crack on with round one. This is the broken news round, where our teams have to guess two major stories of the week that have been mashed together into one single news headline. So, Mark and Felicity, can you tell me what this is all about?
The Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, has said she's very worried about
the Scottish Conservative leader, Russell Finlay,
after
the SNP
were arrested at
a laboratory for weird and wacky policies.
Let's find out. First story, please, Mark. Any ideas?
I believe this was the damp squib that was the Tory party conference.
Yes, this week it's been all about the Conservatives. Tory leader Kemi Badenoch claimed attendees at her party conference could feel the buzz. Although it later turned out that was them all getting a text alert from Nigel Farage. Felicity, what do you think then? It's all been going on at the Conservative Party conference.
Yeah, it was a really big conference, and some of the policies that they rolled out, they're suggesting including leaving the European Convention on Human Rights, repealing the Climate Change Act, and cutting £47 billion from public spending. But don't be fooled, they've got some bad ideas too.
Kate, what have you then made of the Conservative Party conference this week?
Well, Kemi was saying she wants to stop immigrants coming in who have no skills whatsoever. And as an immigrant who is here on a comedy visa, I would just like to say that I thought Kemi looked amazing during that speech. I loved it, and I have nothing else to say.
Can I add on top of that, being an immigrant, and, you know, they want to close the borders, I have to say, I agree. We're here, we've got what we need. Do you know what I mean? Pull up the ladder. It's a good idea. We're full. That's what.
Also, they were handing out chocolates they misspelled the word Britain on the chocolate. And so it said Brit-Ian. And I don't know who that is, but I think that's a lovely name for a girl.
Chris, what about you? It is party conference season. What have you made of the Conservative Party conference this week?
I think if you're a Tory and you were looking at it, it looked like a great day. Like, as a Tory, it looked like a theme park, like kind of going to Toryland, you know, and you're getting a wee merch, just a kind of Thatcher mug filled up with loads of goods and flashy slogans. It's mad, but to everybody else, it just looked like the lamest kind of self-congratulatory kind of away day full of crap.
Yeah. By the way, I do have to name that story, and you're absolutely right about the gaffe involving the chocolate bar. You might have seen the Conservatives. There was a misspelling on their chocolate bar, and the word Britain was spelled incorrectly. A similar typo had happened at the Scottish Tory conference when they had a specially designed Douglas Ross Wonka bar. Accidents happen, you know. Mark, in terms of the overall picture then, because we're in the season, it's that time of year, you a big fan of conference season?
Oh, I get all my mates in every year and You know, you get a couple of beers and watch it. It's the boxing pay-per-view, you know. No, obviously Nigel Farage at the Reform Conference came out to pyrotechnics. I actually think that the reason the Reform Conference is so busy is because most people probably thought they were at the darts. Like, who's this guy? I'm waiting on Luke Littler.
What about you, Felicity? Are you a big fan of conference season?
Oh, I love it. I'll absolutely love it. I watch all of the shows, and really interesting with Labor. They made some really bold announcements. One of them was changing their name to Tory Light. Sir Keir does this a lot. He reminds people of his roots and that his father was a tool maker, and I like that. And how serendipitous that a tool maker would then give birth to an absolute tool.
The merchandise stall at the Tory Party conference was flogging bottles of whiskey bearing Margaret Thatcher's face with a slogan which described it as rich, powerful and not suitable for minors. Right, your turn now, Kate and Chris. What was the other story we were after?
I think this was about the police getting new powers to combat protests.
Well done, that is the right answer. Yes, this week, the Home Secretary set out plans to give police forces in England and Wales new powers to restrict what she called repeat protests. Shabana Mahmood said the move was not a ban on protest, but about restrictions and conditions. Luckily, Scotland has a great way of making sure activists can't attend protests. It's called ScotRail. Mark, what about you? What do you think about this then? Your thoughts on the police having new powers to deal with protests?
Well, in a way, it is kind of smart on their behalf because the change to the legislation means that police will have the power to ban protests outright. So even if people don't agree with it, there's nothing they can do.
Chris, what about you? Scottish Government say this kind of thing might come in here. Can you see this making its way to Scotland?
I could see it being redirected if it comes up to Scotland. Like, I could see it, maybe expect the first application of this against anyone that's protesting against football refereeing decisions in Scotland.
Well, if they do give the police powers to stop protests in Scotland, there'll be nobody happier than the boards of Celtic and Rangers.
Well, there we have it. The police could have extra powers, but are they the right powers? Kate, what power would you like the police to have?
I think we're going about this the wrong way. It's not about the power we should give the police, but what power can the police give us? If we put them on a treadmill, put a picture of a donut in front of that, I think we can light up all of Glasgow for a year.
Use that energy. I like the way you think. Chris, I'll bring you in here. The police could be getting extra powers, but are they the right ones? What power would you like the police to have?
It's maybe not the most serious of issues, but I'd like to give the police power to arrest anybody that sends voice notes longer than 30 seconds. It's just completely irrelevant. When I mean, even the other day I asked my mate where I was meeting him in town, and he sent me a 5-minute long voice. I shouldn't need a phone charger to find out why he's running late. Like, I didn't know if he was sending me a reply or a podcast. Like, these people need to be apprehended.
They need to be brought to justice.
That's such a male response. You're like, I don't want to talk to my friends. Yuck. I don't want to hear anything you have to say. I want to be near you. I don't want to talk about it. That's insane to me. Sorry, I leave 30-minute voice notes.
Yeah. That's because women don't like to be interrupted. The voice note is the perfect medium.
And yet, if you look at the statistics, men interrupt like 30% more than women.
Wait, can I just say something here?
I didn't know what I said in there, so... And there we have it, the power to protest and the changing powers of the police is exactly what we were looking for. Police are indeed to get more powers to deal with people who repeatedly protest over the same issue, which is great news for anybody that's tried to get shoes on a toddler. Yes, well done, Kate and Chris. You get 2 points for that. It was the mashup of the Conservative Party conference and Labour's plans to give the police more power against protests. And well done at the end of the round. It's 2 points apiece. Now, much of our news is about public opinion, so to find out what stories people are talking about, we spoke to two friends of the show, author and parapsychologist Evelyn Hollow and anchorman John Mackay. Right, Kate and Chris, what is Evelyn on about here?
I think this story is sort of sweet, but in a way it's a reflection of modern times. We no longer allot individual time to tasks. We want to be doing everything at once. I would definitely take a potential suitor to a supermarket to see if they could handle watching me have a meltdown and trying to complete a basic task.
What was Evelyn talking about there? Chris, any ideas?
Yeah, I think it's this kind of single Brits, this reveal that they've got new dating trends such as choremancing. Choremancing was a new thing where people are combining their to-do list with dates.
As weird as that is, and as weird as choremancing was, that's the right answer. Well done, Chris. Good spot there. Yes. Choremancing, what do you think? Is this an acceptable way to date?
I think it's just a weird way of pronouncing marriage. I mean, I really don't see any difference.
Mark, you're a big chore-mancer. What's your take on this?
The retromancing was the one that was interesting to me, because retromancing is where people are inspired by their stories of how their grandparents met. But if that was the case for me, I'd need to try and find someone that wants to get hastily married after I get them pregnant in an air raid shelter.
Obviously, it does take in this world of dating, and it can be a difficult thing to do. If not choremancing, how else do we go about it? Kate, what would be the weirdest date that you've ever been on?
I dated an identical twin in high school while I had really bad eyesight and I refused to get glasses so I could stay pretty. And but it led to a lot of big mistakes and one beautiful threesome in which I wish I was more involved.
Wow. And that's how Kate met the Proclaimers.
I've been on a couple of really bad dates. And I wish they had punchlines, but this is just me telling you the truth. I went on a first date to the Necropolis graveyard. I thought it was going to look like I was really profound and learned and let's go and look at this historical, but she turned up in high heels and thought we were going to a restaurant. It was the creepiest I've ever looked in my life.
And that is a high bar for you.
Yeah.
Felicity, what about you? We're talking about dating generally then. Do you have any stories in this weirdest date you've ever been on?
I was making out with a guy. It was like the second or third date, and I said, "Look, I'm not ready to sleep with you," and he went, "Okay, as long as it's not a religious thing." And I was like, "Okay, cool." Anyway, we got married, and.
Well done for getting the right answer. We were talking about the phenomenon in dating known as choremancing, yes. In a survey, 21% of respondents even said they would try to find their perfect partner on a weekly shop, proving you really can get anything in the middle of Lidl. I'm all for it. It's turned me round here. I am now a big fan of choremancing, and my new favourite chat-up line is, "Are you dusting? Are you asking?" Now to you, Mark and Felicity. It's your turn. What do you think John is talking about here?
There is no way, and I mean no way, I'm walking into the works, gents, in socks. You have to be joking. Think of the smell for a start, and the bunions. No, keep it all covered. I know people have read the news in shorts, but just socks? That's too decadent.
I think it's about having shoes off at the office. It's like a new policy they're trying to introduce.
Well done, that's the right answer, Felicity. Apparently, some British companies are trialling a no-shoes policy as a way to improve focus, comfort and productivity in the office. I actually once removed all the shoes from my workplace, which is why I was sacked from the bowling alley. So what do you think then, Flick? It seems odd, but do you see the appeal of not wearing shoes in the office?
I'm Australian. I see the appeal of not wearing shoes. We don't wear shoes.
Really?
Yeah, when we're growing up, I've got the feet of a hot coal walker. You could put a cigarette out on the. I'm not even. This is not. Oh, no. I'm not wearing shoes now. I take my shoes off at every opportunity. I hate wearing shoes.
This suddenly explains the flies.
Mark, what are you thinking then? It's a policy that's being adopted by more and more companies for focus, maybe comfort in the workplace. Do you see the appeal of not wearing shoes in the office?
I think a lot of offices are too strict when it comes to dress codes and stuff. Like, I used to work in a call centre and they had a dress code, and I got into trouble one day for coming in wearing jeans. I was like, it's ridiculous, as if we're going to get a complaint with somebody. Like, yes, the representative I spoke to on the phone the other day sounded like he was only dressed smart casual.
Chris, how do you look at this one then? Do you see the appeal in any way of not wearing shoes in the office?
I don't see the appeal because I'm worried about it escalating as well. I think it said that they were trying to make the workplace feel a little less like work, so it feels like more like home. But then where does it stop? You know, it's your shoes off, then the next thing you're peeing with the door open, and you're clipping your toenails in the staff room, someone cooking eggs nude in the canteen in the staff room. Doesn't everyone cook eggs nude? And only scrambled, never fried. I never
Sunny
know.
side up? Oh.
This is starting to sound like a defence in a HR meeting.
Kate, what do you think? Do you see the appeal of not wearing shoes in the office?
I think it'll help my accountant explain my finances to me a bit more. You know, just getting his feet on the table and going, this little piggy went to taxes, this little piggy went to meal deals, these two piggies went to rent, and this little piggy went wee, all the way into overdraft.
Shoes off in the office. That is the way ahead, it seems to be. One critic has said, you take your shoes off and you're seen as more creative, but take your pants off and suddenly you're on a list. An informal office is indeed the right answer, and 2 points go to Mark and Felicity. This is Breaking the News on BBC Scotland with me, Des Clark. Now, this round is all about who's in the news. I will play you a clip of a mystery person. All you have to do is tell me who it is. So, Mark and Felicity, you're up first this time. Who is this?
Être Premier ministre est une tâche difficile, sans doute encore un peu plus difficile en ce moment, mais on ne peut pas être Premier ministre lorsque les conditions ne sont pas remplies.
And for the full translation, Mark Jennings.
How you say...
Mark, go for it.
I believe that was the recently resigned Prime Minister of France.
Yeah, well done in getting the right answer there. That was the outgoing French Prime Minister, Sébastien Lecornu, who has resigned after only 3.5 weeks. Hours after quitting, Lecornu accepted a request from French President Emmanuel Macron to work on a plan for the stability for the country. Now, this comes as France currently has the third highest public debt in Europe, just behind Greece and Michelle Mone. Well, there you go. What a wild ride for old Sebastian there. Only 3.5 weeks in the job. Are you surprised, Mark, by this resignation?
Surprised? As soon as I seen the news, I was like, sacre bleu!
Felicity, what about you? 3.5 weeks in the job. Are you surprised by this resignation?
All I could think of when it's 3.5 weeks, mate, Liz Truss. She must be at home in a Snuggie, bottle of vodka, a full packet of celebrations going, who's the shortest Prime Minister now?
That is, but you're right, that's the only person celebrating this news. Chris, what are your thoughts then on Sébastien Lecornu resigning after just 3.5 weeks? Are you surprised by this resignation?
I was very surprised, yeah, and so was my whole family. Mon père, my mère, and my brother.
It was worth the effort. Kate, what are you saying to this? So we've got Sébastien Lecornu. What do we think? 3.5 weeks in the job as French Prime Minister. Are you surprised by this resignation?
I am flabbergasted because I had no idea France could have a president and prime minister at the same time, and I am the only one brave enough to admit that on this panel, okay? When I was reading the article, I was like, they got both, you know? But if that's too much for them, I wonder if they should just, you know, stop having a president or prime minister and have a king. Have they tried that? I don't know. Does anything bad happen with a king in France?
Oh. Flick, what do you make about this then? So we've got the French Prime Minister walking away after 3.5 weeks. When was the last time that you walked away from something?
A couple of years ago, walked away from a marriage, and people get worried for you when you say that you're going through a divorce. And I want to say, you know, you can work through your problems if you have really big problems. The other thing you can do, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, is get a divorce. You should if your relationship is on shaky ground now, let me be the invitation to your new life. If you are single, you should get married to experience the sheer liberation of getting a divorce. If you're happily married, are you? I'm just saying.
Felicity, will you marry me?
Don't write checks your body can't cash.
Yes, many French phrases are commonly used in the English language. En route means that you're on your way. Faux pas is when you do something embarrassing. And ooh la la is when your pal orders wine instead of a beer. Right, Kate and Chris, it's your turn now. Who is this and why are they in the news?
An even eye colour, not mine. I'm built on everything that came before me. My genes are binary.
This is an AI actress called, I think, Tilly Norwood.
That's a great spot, and that is, in fact, the right answer. Yes, less a case of who is that and more a case of what is that. That is the AI-generated actor Tilly Norwood. The synthetic performer has caused quite a stir since she was announced with a backlash from human actors like Emily Blunt. Actors Union Equity called Tilly Norwood an AI tool, at which point Sir Keir Starmer asked if she knew his da. And there we go. Tilly Norwood is the right answer. It's a worrying development, or is it, Kate? Is Tilly the future of Hollywood?
I just think it's really interesting that the first AI actress has the most posh London name you could think of Tilly Norwood. I just think it speaks that, you know her mom is a MacBook and her dad is Nigel Farage. I think if the one good thing is that if she never ages, she will never experience the true joy of Hollywood, being too old to date Leonardo DiCaprio.
Chris, what about you? Tilly Norwood, an AI-generated actor. Is this the future of Hollywood?
Part of me gets the argument that some people said it's just a new innovation like 3D or animation, like picturing actors in the 20s and 30s going, you heard about this bloody Mickey Mouse character? I could play a mouse, you know, but...
To be honest, I didn't actually know that Tilly Norwood was AI, which explains why she's not replied to any of my Instagram messages.
Here's a question I want to open out then. Who would you replace with AI?
I don't want to live in a world with AI. I want, the messiness and awkwardness and flawed human beings. I want to watch movies made by people who eat food. I want to watch, stuff that's made by people who inevitably have to poop that food out. I want to watch actors with buttholes. Have you seen the movie Cats?
Have you seen The Human Centipede? I mean, what's going on here?
Mark, what about you then? Who would you replace with AI?
I think now when an actor or a musician, any kind of celebrity gets cancelled, you could just replace them with AI, and then there's no longer the moral dilemma about enjoying their work, because finally AI can separate the art from the artist, say if God forbid there's something happened to you and, then we could just have an AI-generated thing we could all still enjoy breaking the news.
Yeah, to be fair, the real me left in Series 3. Best I've looked, best I've sounded, haven't aged. So AI, as worrying as it is, Felicity, AI is here. If you had the chance to use that power, who would you replace with AI?
I've actually been talking to the producers. You've had a great run, and sterling job. I just feel...
Yeah.
I can see you're dead behind the eyes, so I feel... What would be the difference, What would be...
I know, you're right. No one would notice. That's the thing. And there we go. Well done on getting the right answer. Tilly Norwood is an AI invention who doesn't exist in any real sense and yet has somehow still been cheated on by Ben Affleck. Well done. Tilly Norwood is the right answer. 2 points go to Kate and Chris. It's time now for our final quickfire round, which is all about deciphering the numbers in the news. I will read out a headline. All the teams have to do is fill in the blanks. So get ready, teams. When we run out of time, you'll hear this.
I don't know what you heard.
That is Taylor Swift there dismissing rumours that she's just been appointed as the new Rangers manager. Fingers on your buzzers and see how we get on with this. First question coming your way. 1 in 3 people need alcohol to do what? Mark.
Childcare.
1 in 3 people need alcohol to do what? Kate.
Date me.
1 in 3 people need alcohol to do what? Chris.
Get through a Monday morning.
That was dark.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, that didn't feel like a joke so much as a diary entry.
Yeah. 1 in 3 people need alcohol to do what? Felicity.
Help their mother set up a new phone. I have been sober for nearly 2 decades, and my last phone call with my mother, I'm like, maybe alcohol is the answer.
I love that as an answer. I so wish that was true. What we're looking for was this. 1 in 3 people need alcohol to get to the dance floor. New research has suggested.
I don't know what you heard.
Oh, there we go. That is our klaxon. Taylor has swifted. It means it's all over. And at the end of the quiz, our winners this week are Mark Jennings and Felicity Ward. And commiserations to Kate Hammer and Chris Ford. And we'll leave you with the breaking news. Breaking news just in. Justin Bieber has filmed a video for his new single at the Abandoned Ship pub in Dundee during a visit to Scotland. It is the first video ever released from a Dundee pub that hasn't come with an appeal for witnesses. Elaborate tattoos featuring tigers, birds and a fantastical animal have been revealed on an ice mummy from more than 2,000 years ago. They also found one on the mummy's lower back featuring a butterfly, a Jaeger bomb and the phrase Magaluf 25 AD. Locals have been baffled after bags of sex toys were washed up on Millport Beach. Filmmakers are already working on a movie about the incident, provisionally titled Frisky Galore. The news is broken. I've been Des Clark. Goodbye!
Hi, I'm Amy Irons.
And I'm Stephen Mill.
Join us for the Saturday show for 3 hours of chat, guests, music and sport.
We'll be kicking off your weekend live from 9 a.m. on BBC Radio Scotland and Sounds.
This week they're joined by Peter Mullen and Shirley Henderson, stars of the film I Swear.